Record. All right. And welcome everyone to our March Some Ventures and Band of Angels joint meeting here. Really happy to have all of you. For those of you who this is the first time, I'm gonna give just a very quick ground rules on how the event runs tonight. We're gonna have actually more companies than usual present, so I'm gonna do my very best to be succinct and make sure that the founders have the floor for the most of the evening. But they're going to give a 10-minute presentation, followed by 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A. We may cut Q&A a little bit short and end up taking it over to the chat window and invite the founders to stick around and do the Q&A on chat. So. Just a little bit about the band and a little bit about Some Ventures first. The band's actually the oldest angel investment group out of Silicon Valley. I've actually went and back and looked. I've been a member for going on 8 years now. I think this is my eighth year as a band member, and have been hosting this meeting since 2019. This is actually our 57th consecutive meeting. So it's yeah. Well, what I figured out about it is that if you just sort of stick with it, you know what, the snowball starts gaining momentum, and I think that's been the secret sauce here. It's all of you who've consistently joined and jumped on and shared great opportunities over the years. And we've had, you can go through and look. We've had quite a number of awesome companies, awesome founders come through here over the years, and had the chance to be early investors in a number of fantastic companies. You ever I won't go through the full list today, but it's if you ever read the newsletter, I do a pretty good job of promoting all of those companies, and I'll share the link in the chat window for our recent newsletter for anyone who might be curious. But as far as the band goes, this is again a joint meeting, but we do ask the band members specifically to stick around at the end and vote for companies that will go up and present to our Northern California group. But we also invite members from Tech Coast Angels and Pasadena Angels groups I'm also a part of, that jump on and participate in these calls as well, which is really wonderful because it just gives founders more bang for their buck for their time. And so as you present, obviously we'll follow up with you afterwards, but someone from one of those groups, or even Park City Angels and their other groups that are often jump on these calls, will reach out and invite you to present to their group. So again, our whole goal here is to leave every founder, whether we invest or not, with a sort of a positive experience, make sure they have some good constructive feedback, build their networks, and hopefully finding some great companies to invest in along the way as well. So where I'm going to kick things off tonight is, first we're going to start with just a couple of portfolio updates. I want to share some really big news on behalf of Some Ventures in our fund that we've been working really hard on. Part of the reason probably why I'm a little under the weather right now has been burning the candle a little bit too hard here the past month or so. But I'm really happy that Mike Van Kempen could join us, and Steve and I could join on the call as well. But really happy to report to everyone that a couple months ago, we set out on this journey to recapitalize and restructure UNest, which was a portfolio company that had this rocket-like trajectory over the past few years. We had been early investors in the company and had raised almost $40 million over the past few years from a bunch of notable investors. And I wouldn't say it had stalled out, but fintech valuations got inflated. That's just the reality of where the market was about 2 years, or about a year and a half, 2 years ago, is that valuations got heavily inflated in fintech. And a lot of companies like UNest ended up dying because they couldn't continue on after raising significant capital and chasing that growth. Well, what I did was I saw a real opportunity to back our founders and back an amazing team with a really good, solid product in the family savings and investing space. And we stepped in and we restructured a new financing round for UNest, and it is a significant down round. It is, but we got participation from a number of their past investors and their support as well. And the company is now on a much more positive and sustainable trajectory. So maybe I can just hand it over to Mike to share a little bit more detail on just a quick update on what's happening lately with UNest, and then we'll do a couple more updates and get into the meat of our presentation tonight.
Sounds good. Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, to reiterate what Garrett said, the company has closed on additional funding. We closed 1.5 in January, and we did another close actually this last Friday. so the company is now capitalized. We have reduced our expenses drastically. So burn is down over 80% from where it was a year ago. And now we're focused back on building and growing this into an awesome, sustainable, profitable company. And so, the reality, as Garrett mentioned, is, valuations got a little crazy the last few years. And so this recap, it's at a very attractive valuation. Yeah, we're looking to do our final close next month. But yeah, I mean, um, we're back to building. So we have some really exciting partnerships in the pipeline. We also have some product features in the pipeline as well. And like I said, we're a lean team now, but um, we're sort of to a spot where our revenue covers our monthly salaries now. And we got a little bit more expenses that we're paying for out of pocket, but we're actually in a pretty good spot now. So yeah, looking forward to really building this thing back into something great over the coming 12 months. We should reach profitability within 12 months on this round we're raising. And yeah, looking to raise, at a much higher valuation in the near future. So yeah,
I
high
suppose
level.
I shouldn't bury the lead for the group. I mean, everyone I know, or at least half the investors are wondering what was the valuation of the new restructured company, and so we did this at a $3.6 million pre-money valuation, and you're not going to see that in a fintech company that's got over $1 million in recurring revenue like UNES does. So we made the terms very attractive for new investors to come in, and obviously that was a significant cram down for the past investors, but it was necessary to restructure and to again make the company healthy. And it's UNES is the largest provider of family savings and investing plans for kids that can be used for college, but also used for other purposes. So we're gonna have some few more meetings as we come on board. But one of the things that I'm happy that we've done is we created an SPV vehicle where there's zero management fee and zero carried interest for anyone who is interested in learning more or participating. So definitely, we already have a large enough position through our fund. Don't need to squeeze new investors further with these terms. So going to make that available to everyone. But here I am
Yeah,
getting
and
long-winded again. So sorry, Mike.
I was just going to say, anyone that wants to learn more as well, I'm happy to schedule a one-on-one. So feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll put my email in the chat, and I'm happy to find time, tomorrow or next week to chat through anything. So
Yeah, great. I appreciate that, Mike. All right, so I think next update we had was from Randy with Skedaddle, who I got to see briefly last week. I flew out to South by Southwest to see Randy demo the amazing technology that is Skedaddle within the at South by Southwest. Unfortunately, we had to wrap up a deal, and I spent the vast majority of time at Nachi's home. I think Nachi's on this call somewhere, working from his home. And didn't get to fully enjoy South by Southwest. But Randy, why don't you take it away and show what you accomplished with the app?
Yeah, Nachi, you stole them from us. We we had a good time at South by Southwest. So for those who don't know, Skedaddle makes virtual signs in the real world using augmented reality. And we are actually embedded in the South by Southwest conference app this year. So that pretty much went on everybody's phone, and we were part of the venues and maps tile in their app. And so we had more than 1,000 daily active users. It was a great launching of the concept and just got a ton of really positive attention. There's over 20,000 interactions with our signs or our markers. We basically showed every venue what was going on for the conference in the moment, so you could look and see what movies were playing at which theaters and what talks were given and so on. We also were in a booth and had just a ton of interest. And our first paying customer is Portaventura. They're the largest amusement park in Spain. We won a startup competition with them last month, and we kicked off with them this week, a pilot to include our virtual signs throughout the park. So things like wait times you can just see through your phone and so on. There were 87 different use cases came through our booth at South by Southwest. We've decided to focus on the thing we know we have a market for, which is amusement parks right now. And we're going all in with PortAventura, and then we'll grow it from there. So lots of traction, looking good. We're just opening up a second angel round with Garrett as we speak. So if you aren't in already, we'd welcome you to participate in that round.
Yeah, we'll get. I'll make sure that everyone has additional information. We'll have Randy come and give an additional presentation in the coming weeks to our LPs as well. And for those of you who probably remember, we were early supporters of Randy's. Randy's actually one of the few people I've ever met who's built and exited every company he's been a part of, including sales to Apple and as well. I think Apple's probably the most the most notable name that purchased one of his companies. So it's a incredible founder and incredible track record. Next up, I'm going to actually get to call on Chris Clifford, who is an old friend and co-investor, and Chris had I had the pleasure of meeting Justin through Chris, but I'm gonna let Chris make the intro here. And again, we've added Justin and what he's doing with Freak as an addition onto tonight's schedule because it was just a pressing opportunity. I want to give him an opportunity to get in front of the group. So Chris, why don't you take it away, and then we're going to limit Q&A at the end to more of the chat window after this presentation. But Chris, why don't you go for it?
Cool. Garrett, thanks for the time. Yeah, my name's Chris Clifford. I'm a software entrepreneur, software CPG entrepreneur and investor. I've been investing in tech companies for about a decade through a venture studio, doing off-balance sheet investments. We build enterprise software through this company and spent a great deal of time in the software world. With that being said, we do venture deals now a little bit further and fewer between, probably like 95% of what we do is enterprise software development, and we like to dabble in venture. When you come across a gem, though, you lean in, and I found a gem in Justin, founder from Berlin. They've built an incredible piece of technology that is disrupting the film and music technology industry. Justin will tell you a bit more. Been incredibly impressed with how capital efficient that they've been. Spent $1.5 million building what I see as a $10+ million piece of software, and have already attracted the likes of Apple Film. They're onboarding the NFL right now. They're onboarding Netflix. They have incredible enterprise customers that are coming into their sphere, and they've proven market fit and raising an extension right now to get them through that. So very impressed. We put money in. I'm helping Justin connect with the right venture community here. He's very well connected in the entertainment space, but looking to get a little bit more tapped into the venture community here in SoCal. So I'll leave it to you, Justin.
Chris, thank you very much for the warm introduction. Garrett, it's a pleasure to see you here. Again, thank you very much. I'll be brief in light of our crowded schedule here today. Brief introduction to me. I'm originally from Los Angeles and New York. I live in Berlin now, but I've been a film composer my entire life, writing original music for films and television shows and commercials. And 3 years ago, a colleague of mine from the film industry and I formed a tech company that has now built a product called Freak. We're 4 co-founders, 2 coming from film with industry knowledge and 2 coming from tech. Our CTO is a co-founder, and our head of AI is also a co-founder. And we've built a solution for the film and the music industry and the content licensing ecosystem. The core problem that people face when you need to make a movie or a TV show or a commercial is that every department that's going to work on it needs to create assets. They could be the picture edit, the original score, songs, color, post-production audio. And they need to submit this content they've created for review by decision makers. And then there needs to be a revision process, and then final approval. And then eventually you're going to need to license music and license video content. And the problem in the industry is that everything that you need to do that job with is in a different place. You've got the video people on a product like Frame.io, and the audio people are on another platform, and the composer is somewhere else. And then eventually you have to license music and go through tons of different catalogs to find the music or the footage that you need to license. And we've streamlined this process and built the world's first technology that puts every department on one place to submit content, collaborate, review, revise, decide, and license the content. And Garrett, do I have permission to share? Is it okay if I just roll over and do that? Okay, great. So I'll just start really quickly by showing you guys how the ecosystem currently works. So it starts with a video editor, and they're in a product like this that's made by Adobe, for example, called Premiere, and they will edit a video. And then they'll export that first version of the video for review by decision makers, and they'll upload it to this product here called Frame.io. And in Frame, you upload a video, invite your team to come in and review, and then people can play down the video and leave comments. And that is basically the core competency of this product. It's for video review. These guys just sold to Adobe a few years ago for 1.28 billion. So then the music supervisors who are picking songs that are going to go across this TV show, for example, are over here in a platform called Disco. And in Disco, you can create a playlist, and I can send this playlist with a share link to a film director or an editor or a decision maker, and they can listen to these songs. Now, there's no video incorporation in here. You can't listen to all of these songs with the picture. And there's no meaningful communication channel inside of here. So this playlist will get shared. People will listen to these 30 tracks, and then there's a million emails back and forth. And then eventually you'll limit this down to 5 tracks, and then you'll send them back over here to the video editor, who will cut them in here to this video and then export a separate film for each piece of music so the team can watch the video with these different song options. And then those are going to go on Dropbox, or they might even end up on Frame with different review links and different conversations. And then eventually you're going to license one of these tracks. And 70% of the time you can't afford Daft Punk. So you need to hunt through music catalogs to find one that feels like this track that you can afford. And then you're going to go over here to the Warner Chappell production music catalog and start doing music searches to find that right track. And you can't find it here. So you're going to look in 3 or 4 more to get what you need. And then the composers are over here on this product, which is a beautiful looking spreadsheet, essentially, that they use to track the progress of all of their score cues across this film. But there's no video integration into this thing, and you can't go back and forth and look at these versions that you've done with video. So we've built Freak, which is the world's first platform. And if you look to the left here, we put all of these different departments together on one platform to manage all of that process. So we've built what we call, it's a proprietary technology that we've built, and we call it lane-based film review. And the way that it works is that every department has a lane. So you'll upload a movie, invite your entire team, all the departments and all the decision makers to come into this platform. And when I click on the picture lane, this lane that we've got here essentially replaces Frame.io. You can come into this lane, review this video, leave all of the comments, all the feedback and revision notes on here, manage that video process. But where we depart and become the next generation of all of this technology is here. I'll invite the music supervisor. And the way that lanes work is that I'm a supervisor. We need a song here at this part of the film. I can click into this lane that I've created, adjust the in and the out point, essentially create a little scene here at this section in the film where we need to review songs. Then I can go into the scene that I've created and drag and drop all of those songs, just like you saw in Disco, but right here with the video, and then everybody can come in on the team and listen to them one at a time. Now, often you need to listen to what the middle of this track sounds like against the beginning of the video. Typically, you'd have to send this over to your editor with a complicated email about where to place it, etc. But in Freak, you can just drag this into the middle, and I can listen to any part of this audio against any part of this video very quickly without having to understand the complicated machinery of other platforms. Then I can save this, and we can start having a conversation together about this piece of music. And I can click into this waveform, and I can leave a music related comment here about let's lower the strings or get rid of the drums or something like this. And then as you see me hover over these comments on the right and look to the left, you can see that the pieces of music that they relate to open up and expand. And this solves a deep problem when it comes to making sure that we're listening to and looking at the right versions of audio and video, because all of this communication would be strewn across 1 million QuickTimes that were exported and dumped somewhere and 100 emails. And it's really, really, really confusing and difficult to manage. In Freak, you can come in here and read this comment and click play, and it will play the comment that was created. Then, let's say we're listening to this Hans Zimmer track here, and we think this is the perfect piece of music for this scene, but we can't get it from Hans, it's too expensive, or it's not available. Concurrent to all of this technology that I'm showing you, we've brought in and are bringing in music catalogs from all over the world and have built music recommendation AI. And when I click recommend on this Hans Zimmer track, our AI maps this piece of music via music similarity to all of the similar sounding pieces of music and all of the music catalogs throughout the world that can be auditioned in context of the film straight away with the team and then licensed directly inside of the product. And this is the Warner Chappell catalog that you're looking at right here. We've already got that one in Europe. So it works exactly the same way for every single department. So the composer comes in here, creates all of these cues that need to be.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I think that one, this is incredibly impressive, but two, I think that the one thing that's really clear is we're going to have you back next month to do a deeper dive on the business model, because we spent 10 minutes already just on the product, and I know that we have team, competitive landscape, other areas to cover. But what I'd ask is maybe if you can leave the deck in the chat window, and we can invite you back next month. I wanted to give everyone sort of a deeper dive on what you built and what you're raising. But I know that we're going to be running out of time here in a second for the other presenter, so forgive me for interrupting. But
no problem, Garrett.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much for your time. I'll be available here in the chat to answer any questions.
Yeah, and also please share the deck that you had within the chat, and we are going to have you back to give a longer form. I just had a chance to catch up with Chris the other day, and he reminded me that we needed to have you in. So. Again, a little bit of a late addition here, but really interesting tech, Justin, and please reach out to him directly if you have questions about Freak. So what we're going to do now is I get the chance to introduce Logan Spears, and Logan is not only an incredible AI engineer, one of the top computer vision experts in the country, but he is probably the best trivia partner you could ever ask for if you ever are in need. I will just say that from experience. He's definitely at the very, very top of the list on that front. But seriously, Logan built his first development shop at the age of 19, went on to work as an AI engineer, was actually most recently the head of computer vision at a company called Plainsight, which is one of the top computer vision companies in the country, and has since left that company to build Tensa. And I'm really proud of the fact that at some ventures, we're gonna get the opportunity to be one of the first investors in Tensa, because as many of you know, it's really important for me to evaluate and back the most incredible founders. And I think you're going to get a sense for the future of tennis and AI. And I'm going to hand it over to Logan now to present. So Logan, why don't you take it away?
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Garrett. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, can you guys see that? Perfect.
Looks good.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. And hi, I'm Logan with Tensa. Tensa was started to transform tennis training with cutting edge hardware and AI. I'm really excited to be here today to share our progress after only 3 months. Our round is almost full, but there is still some room for people in the audience if people have an interest on going on this journey with us. First, I want to talk about the problem we are seeing in the tennis market. Tennis is a tough sport to get into and has a barrier to entry problem that makes it difficult for casual players to get into the sport. Private lessons are expensive. They can be over $100 an hour. Finding a hitting partner that is near your skill level and can hit on your schedule is challenging. I want to hit at 6 a.m., for example. No one else wants to do that. Traditional ball machines are simplistic and boring and a forgotten product category that isn't heavily utilized. We'll kind of go into that more in a moment. And we believe that tennis could be a lot larger in the fitness market overall if this barrier to entry was eliminated. Tensa is the Peloton of tennis. It combines a modern hardware and software platform with cutting-edge AI to make a 10x better user experience that people will pay for. Tensa can enable things never possible before on a tennis court, like dynamic simulated play against the machine. It can even call out the score. Gamify drills for systemic skill development. Think about leveling up your forehand. And swing analysis for automatic coaching and tips, like making early contact on the ball. And even automatic recommendations for exclusive media content. This tech is just possible due to some of the developments in supply chain around self-driving, making this tech affordable. Peloton set the precedent for a modern hardware and software platform, redefining a sport and enlarging it into the fitness market. But one fundamental issue with Peloton is they require a multi-$1,000 machine to get subscription revenue. The beauty of Tensa's business model is that we are targeting clubs, resorts, academies, and colleges that can leverage a single unit across the institution's membership base in order to get a significant number of subscribers per unit. The subscription cost will be $40 a month with a $10 rev share with institutions to incentivize adoption. By creating a low friction sale, we'll create a scalable business model for Tensa. We're looking at a 3-year rollout starting at the end of 2024 to get those 10,000 units out. That will create a 70 million in one-time revenue, roughly matching the bill of materials and manufacturing cost. But it will create 144 million in recurring revenue off those 10,000 units. For the total addressable market, we are trying to reduce the barrier to entry for tennis to bleed into that much larger fitness market. We're initially targeting tennis, but we'll have a fast follow for pickleball and other places the technology is applicable, such as baseball. Our initial sum will be targeting the affluent tennis and pickleball market, who, like golfers, will pay almost anything to improve their game. Fortunately, the competitive landscape isn't that competitive. Existing ball machines are outdated and mostly analog. There's some smart tennis apps that observe your game but don't directly interact with you. The closest competitor we've seen is Volley, but it's specifically built for platform tennis and paddle. And clearly a hardware play where some of the software and AI expertise is missing. We've already collected a very strong team and a very technical team. While CTO at Plainsight, I launched over 50 vision AI applications, including those on real-time assembly lines for companies like Cargill, JBS, and Syngenta. Elizabeth, who was also at Plainsight, excuse me, has a significant product background, including a stint at Google. Both of us have independently led companies to successful acquisitions. Sheldon is a former Tesla engineer who created over 10 hardware products in the market. He contributed to impressive projects such as the Tesla Powerwall, doing advanced R&D. We have additional team members committed to join after the Rayze, most of which have offered to work for reduced compensation because they are excited about working with this team and on this product. To date, we've been completely self-funded. We've made rapid progress in only 3 months. We've completed an initial hardware prototype, bootstrapped on an existing hardware system to save time. We're currently developing our second generation prototype with an eye towards manufacturing. And we've developed our own CAD models, custom printed circuit boards, 3D printed parts and mobile apps, as well as AI developed alongside the prototype and even within a 3D game engine simulation. And now we'll show a video demo of Tensa in action. All right, so I'm planning to talk over the video because I wasn't sure if the sound will work. All right, so this is the hardware prototype. A user is starting a drill by touching the onboard tablet. We'll also have a mobile application. The Tensa instructs the player to hit 3 forehands cross court. While feeding, the Tensa can sense everything that's happening on the court. This is showing programmatic control of the motors, the computer, and the cameras all working together. Next, we're going to show what the AI sees. This is one of the 6 onboard machine vision cameras. This is showing the ball tracking capability of Tensa. Because Tensa knows where you're aiming through the drill instructions and knows where the ball land, it can have determined metrics for that drill. I'll play that again because that's pretty quick. And next I'll show a video of, Next I'll show actually a view of the player. This is from a different hitting session. This shows 3D body pose over time, showing the form for the forehand, backhand shots that can be analyzed for correct form analysis. We're currently raising 800,000 at an 8 million post-money valuation. We started fundraising a couple of weeks ago and have about 300 left open. We will use these funds to get a manufacturable unit by end of year, along with a significant pre-order list. We will invest in engineering the hardware, AI, mobile applications, along with marketing and sales. As mentioned, we have significantly self-funded, and we are all in as a team. We're proud to have Some Ventures as our lead investor. And now I'd like to open it up for questions. Thank you.
Hey, it's Jason Bennett.
Questions.
I had a quick question for you. So recognizing that a lot of clubs, junior players have their favorite current pro players, do you guys have a path towards trying to pick up an endorsement from any pros on the men or women's tours?
Yeah, good question. So we plan to do that once we have the manufactural prototype so that we can get essentially a better deal on some of the star players and their participation. The interesting thing about Tensa is because it knows your form and the shots that you take, it can actually pattern match to the closest pro that actually hits like you, which is kind of an interesting feature. Or it can model shots like pros. Like if you want to feel what a Nadal forehand feels like, we can model that.
Could you speak, Logan, to a little bit about the matching capital that you expect to get out of West Virginia and how that works?
Sure, Garrett. Yeah, so we're currently in talks with the West Virginia Jobs Investment Trust. Basically, if you have a smart manufacturing use case in West Virginia, there's a matching program for equity investment. We're currently in talks with them, and we have a demo or a pitch to them in about a week.
I would say that this is one where it's a little bit beyond the pitch stage, given the support of some of the investors you have from that community as well. But I don't want to. We'll oversell it next month. I'll tell everyone that you got it done. But okay, there we go. Other questions from the group?
Yeah, hey Logan, does it help with serves at all?
Yeah, so definitely serves is one of the shots that it can analyze. And we have a dynamic mode where you can play against the ball machine and actually serve. It can call it out. You can serve again and actually do a simulated match. One thing I didn't get a chance to mention is it has what's called Knomee wheels, which are omnidirectional wheels. So it'll actually slide over and hit the ball from the direction that your shot went. So it's more realistic.
The only thing I saw missing is, does it pick up the balls for you?
It does not. We have a you
a
can
joke.
significant.
Well, there's an idea for a fast another follow-on product that'll do that.
Yeah, you can actually significantly increase the capacity of to like 250 balls, so it'll almost always last in at least an hour, so that you don't have to pick up balls multiple times during a session.
Call a Roomba. I think you can get a Roomba to pick those up.
Yeah, it's actually a much
actually-
easier problem than a Roomba because the court is highly standardized, unlike the interior of people's homes. It's very, some of those kind of auxiliary items are very doable.
Yeah. So one of the things I don't think I saw in the video demo that you intend to launch, and you want to talk about how the machine will move for the next iteration and how you're solving that problem for moving laterally.
Yeah, I can talk through that. So the Knomee omnidirectional wheels that I was referring to, those allow movement in any direction, and we can have stages of drills where you hit from one side and then it slides over to the ad court, let's say, and then shoots from that side as well. It also actually reduces components other than the wheels because we don't have to have a pivot internally, which some of the other machines do. It also enables more dynamic play, like I was referring to. So if you hit a ball from a certain direction, you would expect that ball to come back from that direction in a normal match, and we can emulate that.
So Logan, is it, let's say it sends a ball your way and you've got like a 3-sequence kind of play on. You hit the ball in the net. Does it know it's in the net and send you the second ball anyway? Or how is it doing like a sequence drill?
Yeah, it depends on the drill. It's completely programmatic software platform, so we can kind of do it multiple ways. But one of the drills that we have is, hit 10 balls cross court, and you might hit 9 out of 10, and one of those may go in the net, and it can give you statistics for that. Or a game that I play with people that we could also do is how many balls can you hit in a row at a certain location, and then it would just go till you miss. Both those are possible.
But like a serve and volley kind of thing, can it, dynamic like that?
Absolutely. So it can emulate certain types of play or have specific drills. So if you wanted to work on your serve and volley, you serve, and then it can kind of simulate or kind of react with a short ball, bring you in for an approach, and then kind of try to pass you. And that would be pretty realistic versus match play.
Great. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question, and then we'll take the questions over to the chat. Or perhaps we're good on questions. I'll throw out one. Please highlight exactly what you intend to accomplish with the 800K. Where does it get you? What's the next fundable milestone in your view, and where do you go from there? And well, actually, better question is, talk about the other applications for other sports of the technology that you built as well. So.
Yeah, so I can hit that first one really quick. So we expect this 800K to take us through 2024 to get a manufacturable prototype. We will need additional funding at that stage to scale up the manufacturing. This will also get us some of those marketing efforts that we're referring to get those pre-orders and get people excited about this. And then your sorry, Garrett, can you remind me your second question?
Yeah, can you talk about other applications for sort of the technology that you're building with computer vision for other sports?
Yeah, so we're starting with tennis, which has the largest market cap of the racket sports. Obviously, pickleball is growing very quickly year over year, and will be the size of the tennis market at current rates within maybe 5 years or so. That is very analogous to tennis, and with slight modifications, Tensa will work well for pickleball. But there's also baseball, batting practice.
Hey, pick up.
There's
Thank you.
and honestly, many sports that have kind of a ball player mechanic that AI infused analytics and dynamic play will be applicable.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Logan. Please share your contact info in the chat, and feel free to ping him with the additional questions as we go here. Oh my goodness, we're having I guess we're having link issues with some folks. So let me make sure I correct this, but I'll introduce Carl first, and then we'll correct. Apparently, we got some link trouble. So I'm really I'd like to think that if I'd been as successful as Carl and Brent and others in football, that I would still eventually have retired and done this job. Because I love it so much. I love giving back. But one of the things that's really amazing to me is when you see people who reach like the upper echelons of success in their field, and then they say, you know what, for my next act, I'm going to go build a company, or I'm going to go and give back, and I'm going to go make a difference in another way. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to introduce Carl to everyone this evening. Not only did Carl have a successful stint with Penn State, where I believe is an All-American. They went on to 7 years as an NFL defensive end. But he's now built a company called Rayze, which is focused on philanthropy, and is using social media along with some really amazing partnerships with companies that he's going to outline today to drive not just volunteer hours, but the way in which we give back in the future. And I could be more thankful to Brent for making the intro initially, and for Carl to take the time to come and share his vision for the future of philanthropy with us. So, Carl, why don't you take it away, and I'm going to try and make sure that everyone who's trying to log on
awesome intro, man. I appreciate you.
Well, you know, after a glass of coffee cup wine here, you know, I get pretty good. And now two intros from now will be worse. You caught me in the sweet spot.
This is actually a margarita. I'm just kidding. Thanks guys for having me. Brent, thanks for setting this up. I've never done anything like this before, but it's really cool. So I'm going to share my screen and kick it off. Okay. So everything I do with Rayze is how do I get the next generation of philanthropists involved with the causes that they care about. Like Garrett said, I played 7 years in the NFL. I played in over 100 NFL games, not as much as Brent. But I was a walk-on at Penn State, became an All-American. I played for the Browns, played for the Bucks, where I was captain of the team. Played for the Raiders and went back to the Bucks. And I actually just retired this past September. So it's been a cool 6 months doing Rayze full time, having all that clarity, making some great connections. And I'm really, really excited to see where 2024 can take us, because as you'll see in this presentation, we've got some really, really good partnerships and some really, really good investors, some really, really good opportunities. And what I really want to do is bring together people, nonprofits, and businesses as more of a three-sided marketplace to address some very, very real problems that people don't really know in America. So the greatest thing about America is the freedom to go from 0 to 100 to achieve the American dream. But what capitalism does, what people in America don't realize, is that it doesn't really take into account people who need help the most. And that's where philanthropy comes in. Philanthropy comes in and it fills in the cracks of where the government can't meet the needs of the people that are in most, dire situations. Since 2000, we've seen a decrease in donors every single year. Now less than half of people give to charity. People don't go to church as much anymore. People are being asked. The nonprofit industry has focused so much on building these donor profiles and finding the highest grants and making the biggest partners. So what that has done, it has totally eliminated the grassroots movements of getting people involved in early stages of their life. And what that has also done, exacerbated by COVID, is that now less than a quarter of Americans volunteer regularly. So these two trends cannot continue to move forward. Last year was one of the first years in the last 40 years that the dollars to charity has gone down, and it would have been way, way worse if it wasn't for Mackenzie Scott giving away hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars. And then there was like, I think 6 people that accounted for $30 billion in donations. So last year, over $500 billion was donated to charities from individuals. Another 200 billion was donated from businesses. So Rayze is going to hopefully become the #1 portal for mobile and online donations from individuals and businesses. And so what we do is we offer individual donors a lot of features right off the bat. You can donate to 1.8 million charities on Rayze. It is so quick and easy. We do not make you write a dissertation. You go to some nonprofit websites and it is, if I have to go get my credit card from the other side of the room, you're not getting my dollar. It's not happening. You know what I mean? Like everything has to be quick. Everything has to be fast. The next generation of people, they're used to Amazon. They're used to all these really simple ways to pay. And the nonprofit industry is led by people later in their career. So a lot of these things is not really rocket science. We're just taking some modernization to a group of individuals who are a little bit older and long in the tooth and that are running these organizations and having trouble connecting with the younger people. And one of the best things is keeping track of all your donations. Who wants to go rifle through their emails? Who wants to go rifling through their receipt drawer? You know, if you take the standardized deduction, which is only, $600, but if you donate anything more than that, you want to itemize on your tax return. So you'll have all those donations in one place. So many things happen in the world, in Maui, in Ukraine, in Israel. All of these things happen way too often. Where do you go to go, contribute and keep all that in one place? These are some really, really cool functionalities. And we're just getting started with the individual donor solutions and individual users. So much of 2023 was our B2B model, was our nonprofit solutions. We offer for free to sign up. Our nonprofits get custom QR codes, custom donation links. They can use text to give. They get a CRM. What's really, really great about this, what nonprofits love, is when you use a Rayze QR code, a donation link, the donor doesn't have to download the app. That goes guest checkout. They get all the information. I mentioned CRMs before. If anybody knows anything about nonprofits, there's a million CRMs. And that's not where Rayze is going to shine. But all that information that you get through a Rayze donation is exportable to your favorite CRM. I mean, you can't sneeze without, thinking of a technical CRM for nonprofits. Here's a kind of much more broad, much more focused view of how it functions. We do a lot of so we do a lot of fundraisers for the Trevor Project. You scan the QR code, defaults to $100, defaults a monthly recurring, cover fees. Now this is actually, we just upgraded. So now it's actually 2 clicks. This presentation is just a month old. So we've come out with some updates just in the last month. So it actually can get down to 2 clicks. Now, the real moneymaker of Rayze is our B2B software with our Rayze Mobile Match. My little brother works for Lincoln Financial. They give him $2,500 a year in corporate matching. He has to write a check to his church for $2,500, get the receipt, send it to HR. HR verifies it. HR then sends a subsequent check 6 months later, right? All of this can be done from your phone. 65% of businesses, they do stuff like this, but they almost hide it in the employee handbook. So it makes it really difficult to access. You take anybody from JP Morgan to Waste Management, everybody can use this from their phone. Great, I want to donate to my kid's school. I want to have my company match, whether it's $100 or $2,500. this is where a lot of the big donors come in that have really great 9-to-5 jobs, and then they kind of count as two donors because their business matches it. And so what the younger users will probably use a little bit more is our connection with Volunteer Match. We have over 80,000 volunteering opportunities on Rayze. You take any high school student that needs its graduation community service hours. You take a scholarship kid who's looking to find places to volunteer. You take kids in high school who may not be good at sports, may not be in the theater. How are they going to find their tribe? They can start a club Rayze where they go out and they find volunteering opportunities. Volunteering is shown to be one of the most positive things on mental health. It gives you a sense of self-worth, self-accomplishment, where our young people are exposed to the most toxic social media you've ever seen. So all of these volunteering opportunities are right at your fingertips. It looks beautiful. We are really helping Volunteer Match. We're announcing our partnership just in a few weeks for National Volunteers Week in April. So this is fantastic. We want to be the #1 volunteering platform in the world. It's really, really hard to monetize off of volunteering. That's why it stinks. But when you take the volunteering and you use it to establish brand recognition, you get where all the kids are going 5 years from now. Okay, you get an 18-year-old kid who's using Rayze for his community service requirements. Now, 5 years down the line, he's got his first he or she, they got their first corporate job. They now count as 2 Rayze donors. So things that are coming up in 2024, it's really kind of hard to keep up. It's actually exhausting as a founder. Like we have launched things and forgotten to even tell anybody about it. So Rayze Champions is really, really exciting. This is just got pushed to the App Store today. So we're just waiting. Let's say Friday. It is getting pushed to the App Store tomorrow. So it's done. It's beautiful. Every Rayze user will have their own personal QR code, personal donation link for marathons, for fundraisers. You take these students and you offer a prize. You know, they're always raising money for their service trips. They're always raising money for the school. You take these employees, whoever raises the most money through their QR codes gets 3 extra vacation days, right? I don't know if anybody knows about donor advised funds. They stink. Okay, I have one through Fidelity and it stinks. There's a reason why the average donation of a donor advised fund is $2,000, because it's impossible to make a donation. You see somebody on the street and you want to give them $20, right, to save the children or something. You don't want to go to your DAF account and then have the DAF account send a $20 check 3 months later, right? So with Rayze, we want to empty those DAFs. There's $240 billion sitting in DAFs right now. It is the fastest one. I don't know if it is the fastest, but it is definitely one of the fastest growing financial tools in America right now. They're fantastic. If you don't want to start a family foundation and you want to put some money away and then use that money over time, it's really, really great tool. But unlike foundations, there's no mandated 5% distribution. So that money sits in there. And the donors, the people who have the accounts, they've already taken the tax donation. So it doesn't really matter to them whether money gets emptied. And then the Fidelities, the Schwabs, they don't want to make it easy either, because they're making the assets under management fees every single day off that $250 billion. It's probably upwards of $300 billion right now. And then the last thing, I like to go on rants, so just keep up. So the last thing is gamifying volunteering hours. This is something that's going to come way later in 2024. It is not the largest revenue generator, but it's something that's going to be extremely beneficial for our users to be able to request a verified volunteering number of hours from a nonprofit, get that on their profile, show it like a LinkedIn profile. Like, okay, great. This is all my work history. Great. I've volunteered every week for the last 52 weeks. I know some of the best volunteers for the Trevor Project that have volunteered every week for years, right? That should be promoted. But we want to make sure that it gets verified. So towards the end of the year, you're going to see a lot of gamification, streaks. We want to mimic Duolingo. Streaks and all those different incentives are going to keep people coming back, because the one thing nonprofits hate is these businesses that come in with 50. I have not sworn once on this thing, so this is really good for me. Businesses hate when they get 50 people on a Tuesday or nonprofits hate when the businesses bring 50 to 100 people on a random Tuesday, blows up their whole week. What volunteers love is a new volunteer. I mean, what nonprofits love is a new volunteer. What they love more is a recurring volunteer. So the streaks, the consistency of it is something that we're really, really going to push, because it's everything about we do with Rayze is how to improve nonprofits.
Carl, sorry to interrupt, but we're gonna need to make sure that we're getting to the ask within the next 2 minutes. Okay.
Oh, I'm hustling, baby.
I know. I know you will.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. So right now, pricing, we're free to sign up. 1% of all donation, 1% of all dollars move through the app, is how we generate revenue right now. We're offering premium memberships within the next 6 months. We have great corporate sponsorships. I'll move through this. This is some competitive analysis. No shade at Give Butter, but it's the fuggliest name for a company I've ever heard in my entire life. But they have processed $500 million in donations in the last 3 years. Benevity is the biggest corporate matching platform in America. They have Apple, they have all these different companies. They have $100 million in revenue every single year, and they don't even have an app, right? They're too old to modernize. Deed is a great company. No shade at Deed. I think they're doing really well. Groundswell, I do not like Groundswell. If you look at their model, it's very, very, what's the word, exploitative of nonprofits. They don't even talk to the nonprofits, but you can see that there's a lot of funding. The space is really, really exploding for CSR, giving back much more technical. So I want to highlight a couple things here. Our lead investor, Financial Finesse Ventures, is the country's leading provider of financial wellness tools as a benefit. Rayze is being sold along to their 3 million employees. They just expanded into Europe. Rayze will now be sold to European countries. So they go into Verizon, JP Morgan Chase. They have Meta, they have CVS, they have some of the biggest companies in America. They go into there and say, hey, we're going to help your employees manage their budget better, right? But they haven't done anything with planned giving, frugal ways to give back. So that's where we come in. So we have this amazing partnership with an industry leading company. We have great NFL connections. Those Rayze QR codes that nonprofits get, those are going to be on NFL broadcasts. They do the social justice. They do the salute to service, intercept cancer with the American Cancer Society. There is no call to action when they produce those amazing videos. And so we have 2 NFL owners. We have NFL Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers as investors. And we really want to access this NFL network and make high platform athletes really, really great role models. Right now, we have over 200 nonprofits signed up. Our goal is to have 1,000 by the end of the year. We have over 1,000 local United Ways that I'm on the board of 2 United Ways. We're getting access to 147,000 nonprofits through Volunteer Match. And so, like I said, I'm going to run through this really quick. One thing about Rayze that puts us apart is our B2B2C platform. Rayze is much, much more than just a widget on a HR's dashboard. We are going to provide this pathway for the philanthropist's entire journey, from the grassroots movement where they're just getting involved at high school level to where they become a major gift giver. This is going to be the LinkedIn of philanthropy. We're going to be the #1 portal of donations in America, in the world, where everybody comes to see the most positive content, the most positive platform. Right now, we were going to raise $3 million, but then I realized that was really way over than what we needed. Our burn rate was much lower. So we're raising $2.5 million. We are about a little over 2 million committed, about 1.2, 1.3 cashed already. So majority of salary. We don't really have any hardware or anything like that. The marketing spend of $15,000 a month is actually not going to take place until towards the end of the year. We can't go from, we've spent $0 in marketing today. This is our team. Right now, we have 7 employees, including myself, and we're actively hiring a digital marketing manager. So I wanted to tell one story to end of why Some Ventures and why I'm here. I got connected through one of my teammates in Vegas to this VC in Philly. I won't tell where. And at the end of the meeting, he asked to meet with me, right? And I told him about Rayze, and I said, blank name. what are some nonprofits? What are some causes that you get involved with? And he looked me straight in the eyes. He goes, oh, I don't do that shit. My wife does that. And I said, I will never you will never be a part of Rayze. You will never be on this team. You will never be a part of something this big. So I had another VC. The only two conversations I've had with VCs were terrible. The second one, through a mutual connection, guy showed up 20 minutes late, didn't even want to hear anything about me. So I have curated this amazing group of angel investors who bring something to the table, who bring a platform, who bring networks, who bring obviously money. But what I haven't done is brought anybody to the table who can help prepare me for the next stage. So when I was talking to Garrett about this, he was saying the value add of this is great. I have great football players. I have great business leaders. I have really, really great corporate strategy, but I have no acumen for the next stage that Rayze will be in 2 years from now. So this is why I'm here. This is why I think that this makes a lot of sense to close the round with some people that have done this before and that can help me take it from, you know, 0 to 100. So yeah, that's it. How was that? What was I at?
Hey, we're you know what, Carl? It was a compelling longer presentation. Oh, hold on, let's mute guys. Camo. All right, sorry about that. We're going to I think the presentation was very good. We were a little long, but you know what? For our first go,
we do a lot.
Carl. You guys, yeah, you guys are doing a lot. No, it's okay. What we're gonna have to do likely is we're gonna probably open it up for I don't want to dominate the conversation for one question, and we're gonna have to move the questions over to the chat window, and then I'll also follow up with you with additional questions from the group after the fact, just so we can make sure we get through our other founders this evening. Let's see who wants to chime in. Sally gets to chime. Sally is one of our philanthropy, is one of the most active investors. Actually, Sally's also the top performing investor out of Pasadena Angels as well. So go for it, Sally.
How do you vet the charities?
So we do a 2-step process. They have to send when they get signed up, they cannot receive a donation until they've sent us their IRS determination letter. And we verify them through 2-step process. For the 1.8 million charities, they go to our fiscal sponsor charity on top. They've been in the business for 10 years. They do nonprofit gift cards. So for the 200 nonprofits that are signed up on Rayze, they've been vetted by us. They've been vetted by the IRS. For everybody not on signed up on Rayze, you make a $100 donation to your local church that isn't signed up on Rayze. That money goes to our fiscal sponsor. They verify it, and then they send a check.
So how much time do you cut off for the for my niece's school that is raising money through to, you know, get more computers or whatever? How long does it take for me to say, okay, I want to give $500 to them, and how long does it take for them?
If they were signed up on Rayze,
not signed up on Rayze. Not signed up.
It would
on
be 3
Rayze.
months. It would be 3 months. It would be
Okay.
3 months. We thought about expediting, but we really want to incentivize people to get on Rayze and signed up, because that is the most cost efficient modern way to get the money directly to the nonprofits.
Okay, you said 1%. What do you mean by 1%?
So when you make a donation,
them to sign up? Yeah.
So we designed this model we didn't want to make money unless we made the nonprofits money. I didn't know how to charge my mom's local nonprofit and American Cancer Society the same charge. So when a donor makes a $100 donation, we take 1%. Stripe takes their 2 to 3%, and then the donors are defaulted to cover the fees. Over 90% of our donors cover the fees, so the nonprofits get the full amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Thanks for your question.
We're gonna have to take the other additional questions in the chat window. Carl, thank you very much for making the time for us. I hope you'll stick around, share your contact info in the chat box as well, and obviously I'll be following up with you next day or so.
Sweet.
Very good. And again, I think I tried to pack a little bit too much into tonight, so if it feels a little rushed, sorry everyone. Want to make sure that we're trying to get founders as much exposure as we can. But I'm really excited to, well, first thank Phil Strauss for introducing Marla, who's here with Knomee. One of the things that stood out when I went through, before I even had the chance to talk with Marla, was the incredible background she had in financial services and as an investment advisor as well. There's not like I looked through your LinkedIn earlier. I don't think there's a large institution that you haven't worked for. I saw JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock. Who else did I see? I'm trying to think. There was Microsoft. I don't know. I saw every major successful company you've been a part of over the past decade. In addition, you've also worked with Kevin Simmering, who had glowing things to say about you with GemStep, and so I'm really happy that you're able to make the time to share with us tonight. I know that Elizabeth Spears is going to be definitely leaning in, because the first thing you told me on our call was how you were so focused on user experience and understanding customers, which is my amazing partner. She hammers that home for me all the time when we're looking at investment decisions. So why don't you take it away, Marla, and tell us about Knomee.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. There's certainly a couple of companies I haven't worked at, not that many. But I'm really glad to be here. Thank you so much for giving me some time. I'm Marla Sofer, and I'm the founder and CEO of Knomee. I launched Knomee last year after years and years percolating on the idea. And what Knomee is a financial identity data platform that powers personalization entirely controlled by consumers. We are the missing first step in financial services, flipping the entire way the industry works on its head by introducing an opt-in model to consumer data profiling. As consumers opt into sharing information, they achieve financial wellness. Knowing themselves, they find confidence in knowing whether or not financial products and services are right for them. And providers that subscribe to consensually shared information find a trusted and efficient path to engagement. So I'll go through this one really quick after Garrett's introduction. But like I said, I've been percolating on this for a while, and Knomee's actually my story. So my background is a little bit strange. I studied peace and conflict resolution and wanted to be a diplomat. I worked in nonprofit before I transitioned into financial services. And I'm fortunate that I worked at top financial services firms, and I've been exposed to the whole financial services supply chain. And from working as an advisor, oops, I'm going to push start on my timer, as an advisor with high net worth clients, all the way to the guts of global custody, what I realized is that our industry does not know its customers. We have behavioral data, and that gives all financial companies a great perspective on the past, but we have no idea about what matters to customers, and we don't know anything about values, attitudes, or aspirations. The problem is financial services sells into your future, and they have no idea what your future looks like, what you want it to look like. So there's a huge gap in the market, and the industry is missing a step. Financial services pushes products at people rather than helping them utilize money as a tool to live richer, fuller lives. So we saw this gap, and we ran a survey, and we learned that people want a better relationship with money, but they don't know the first step to take. Most Americans are stressed about money, and they've got no financial plan. On the other hand, you've got financial services who aren't helping. They can't. They're not trusted, and they don't know how to help. They're trying like heck to grow, and they've heard all about the importance of personalization, but they're coming at it in the wrong way, and they're wasting $400 billion a year on bad data. Money is personal, and so is data. And Knomee is not a financial product. We're a consensual data marketplace. We help people create the data that both consumers and providers need to build trust in each other. We incentivize users to get to know themselves, their values, their goals, everything they need money to help them with in life. And then we enable them to share that data with providers, building trust and confidence. Oop. So why would a user, we'll call her Emily, come into Knomee in the first place? So she's sitting on some money. She has no idea what to do with it. She knows she has to take action, but she wouldn't even know what to say to an advisor when she was sitting in front of him. And she has no idea how to evaluate what type of advisory solution is best for her. Knomee helps her create a script, and it gives her the liberty to change the script when her life changes, as it inevitably will. Knomee helps her take that first step, blending the latest behavioral psychology with gamified experiences and modeled after familiar wellness apps. I know that Carl referenced Duolingo. We like Duolingo a lot as well. We guide users through self-discovery journeys, and we help them articulate their values, their needs, their goals. We identify users that are seeking support, and then we connect them with providers well-suited to their profiles. We help the consumers share information with their existing providers, including profile changes, life events, and cash windfalls. Profiles can be shared with as many providers as the user wants, and they may configure the categories of data shared with each. At the end, Knomee aligns consumer and business incentives so both sides win. As consumers construct a rubric of accountability for their money to help them achieve their life goals, providers gain the intelligence that they need to promote the right products for the right people at the right times. The average advisory business spends 92% of its budget on sales and marketing. Their CAC is astronomical, and providers struggle to differentiate. Knomee brings the CAC down by 20%, helps ensure service fit, and addresses the fear of churn during money movement by helping providers to see when it's coming. We have an incredible team with top credentials in tech. So Cameron led values-based CRM data analytics at Google, and he tipped a little bit into blockchain. Tiffany has a phenomenal track record with 8 years at IDEO, if you're familiar with IDEO, building innovative customer experiences and leveraging deep behavioral analytics for ongoing engagement. Both are deeply familiar with AI and thrilled to build our own LLMs, large language models, generating value for both sides of our market. We're targeting professional women who have some money, but they have no idea what to do with it. They don't know who to trust, and they don't know where to start. This is the most attractive market to the financial services industry. You've likely heard the McKinsey stat that women are going to control $30 trillion by 2030. We're reaching these users through professional women's groups. So I launched and participated in lots of women's groups, and these communities came about to help women achieve their goals and provide them with the support they need. They're hungry for tools, and they Knomee aligns with their mission, giving their members real value. We have partnerships with 10 such communities, reaching 400,000 members. It's hard to find sizing on the data broker market. Trust me, I've tried for over a year. $319 billion is a known number. It's the best number we can use, but we know it's likely way, way larger, especially with respect to data feeding evolving AI tools. My experience in the data and market data industry leads me to believe that this number is actually about 5 to 10x already today. And Knomee is carving a niche into this market, but our data is differentiated because it's validated. It's provided by trusted, regulation-protected source, the consumers themselves. As users create profiles, we help them connect with permissioned financial services providers. To begin, we monetize through lead generation, earning a tiered flat fee per lead, followed by a revenue share post-conversion. So we're starting there, but we already have significant interest from top companies to use Knomee with their client base to help them create timely offers, promotions, or even just pick up the phone when they see something important happening in a client profile. Finally, we'll grow into anonymized aggregated data sets. It won't take us long, especially with the demographic we're serving. When we get to 10,000 customers, we'll be in all 3 of these monetization engines, and we've already generated interest in all 3. Knomee is jumping into both sides of our market. We've got MVP data from over 730 users. We have over 1,000 people that have signed up with early interest, and we're in front of the right communities, finding an efficient path to scale. V1 of our product shipped last week. We're live in the market. You can check it out now at knomeapp.com. We've got 14 registered investment advisors that have signed up, and we've built relationships with tens more. We've got several large enterprise customers in our pipeline, And we've made strategic decision to start with the hungry, nimble providers who absolutely need the information that we power to help them grow their businesses. We're deliberately growing into the larger firms a little bit later, establishing our foundation first, and then expanding once we have that baseline. So we're right now raising between $1 million and $1.5 million by April 30th. It's going to help us expand our user base, build out critical features, and support a few key integrations, and get to $4.5 million in ARR in 3 years. Right now, we have a soft commitment in the door, and we're accepting checks down to $25,000. We would love to work with some and the Band of Angels, given your depth of experience and your focus on very disruptive, purpose-driven tech. Our vision is to usher in the future of self-sovereign identity. We help consumers prepare for this shift by incentivizing the aggregation of their data for financial wellness. Usage of Knomee profiles is going to help them find personalized value from other industries. We know that user profiles are the secret ingredient behind the biggest tech companies, and Knomee returns the profile control to the user, back where it belongs, so that they can live fully and achieve their dreams, entirely in control of their data. That's it. Thanks for listening. I would love to be in touch and get to know you and answer any questions you've got.
Awesome. Thank you for that presentation.
Sure.
Let's invite others to ask questions first. So I'm looking around the audience. Maybe we exit screen share so I can see the group. If you have a hand up, feel free to just chime in. All right, I'll ask a first question. Would you mind sharing, at least from a use of funds standpoint, exactly how many advisors you intend to get on the platform and what your goals are with the funding?
Yeah, I would love to screen share again if you're open to it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. So we've got very conservative estimates. Our use of funds, let me answer that question first. We already have a product backlog of 150 features, and we know exactly how we're going to market. It's primarily for developers and for marketing. The use of funds is really to get the consumers on the market. Reaching advisors is not expensive and not challenging. The advisor base, RIAs, there's 17,000 of them in the market. And the slide I want to share with you, this is going to be a little bit of an eyesore, forgive me, but if you think about kind of our revenue projections, I'll kind of back into what makes this up. So we're starting with leads, and I wanted to share this one. So we've kind of modeled out here as it relates to leads. We're targeting 17,000 advisors. I've got a different slide that gets into a lot more detail, but we've modeled how many of these people that we believe we're going to reach in terms of eyeballs are going to come through women's groups and direct, and how many are actually going to convert where we get paid per lead, and then how many to converted leads. I think to answer your question, it's we've kind of looked at how many we're going to convert of these 17,000 advisors, and at the same time, we're building relationships with larger enterprises. And as we do that, our user base will grow, our advisor base will grow.
I'm going to ask one follow-on question.
Sure.
So one of the things that we touched on in our conversation was your focus on reaching underserved groups. And I wanted to hear just a little bit more about specifically which groups that you wanted to sort of go to market with and that you felt like you could attract at the lowest customer acquisition cost. Where is there the deepest need over the course of the next year that you intend to attract?
Honestly, they all have got the deepest need. Right now, you've got, we're starting with professional women, and we're working with professional women's groups to address them. As we started having conversations with those groups, we learned that our path to attracting customers is through established communities. And one of our investors, who is very excited about working with us, wants us to actually do the same for the Latino community. We've got relationships with the Black community. What we've learned is that financial services has created this reality of shame, a sense of insecurity, a sense of kind of not really feeling confident to go in and ask for help across all of those underserved groups. And so what we're doing is reaching out through known communities where those groups exist. We're starting with women's groups. We're fast following to Latino communities, Black communities, veterans, and all of those groups. Unions actually is the one right after that. All of those groups, what's beautiful about them is that they have their own viral effect. We know exactly where to reach them, and the people that are participating in these communities actually talk to each other. So I've been doing content sessions for Women in Tech International. It's a community that has 200,000 users or members for over a year. And I met them when I was at Microsoft. Very much a reaction to my experience at Microsoft. There was an organic group that grew of Microsoft employees that talked to each other about investments. Coming from the investment world, I was horrified to hear how they spoke about investments in that group and thought, oh my gosh, there's got to be a better way. So I got very involved with a lot of the women's community and thought, how do I get people to recognize the importance of, you should not go into a group and start telling each other which fund to buy or, you know, which stock to buy, even worse. What you need to know is your risk tolerance, what you're looking for, your goals, your attitudes about money. And then you need to understand how you can use that to find empowerment, to find the right choices for you. So that's kind of what's resonating strongly.
Awesome. Well, I think I asked too many questions here personally, but we're gonna have to move the questions just to make it through our next two presenters on time over to chat. So my apologies to the group for dominating the conversation here. But please stick around, Marla. If you wouldn't mind sharing your contact info in the chat and then answering any questions that pop up there. Really appreciate that. But again, I think I packed our night a little bit too full. So we're gonna have to move on to our next presenter now. But thank you again so much for your time. Ash, where are you? There you are. I see you.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Garrett, and thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with some great people here.
Yeah, we've got a great group of presenters this evening, you included. So let me share just one thing with the group. Really appreciative of Mark Belinsky for connecting us and for bringing Syncwords and what you built over the past few years into our monthly meeting. So real quick, guys, I just want you to know going in here, this is one of the products and demos that's I think is gonna wow the group. I was pretty blown away when I saw how easy this was to use and the thought and the user experience that Ash has built. This is a little bit, we offer a wide range, from pre-seed, I would say, until like seed plus borderline Series A companies in these monthly meetings. And this is a company that's definitely has some strong signals of product market fit. And Ash, it was really just again blown away with what you and your team had built. So why don't you share with us the future of translation and video?
Hey man, thanks so much, Garrett. Your praise has made me blush, but yeah, I'll make my presentation here. So Syncwords is a platform and API that powers real-time video streams with accurate subtitles and dubs with AI. And just to clarify, our company is not a hardware device company. We are not focused on pre-recorded video subs and dubs. And we aren't a travel app where you can, speak in English and it comes out in Spanish. We are focused on a B2B SaaS model. And we are focused on live video streaming and not on pre-recorded video. The reason we chose live video streaming is pretty simple. The industry is growing very rapidly. There's a huge demand from customers for real-time subtitles and even dubs in live video streams. So far, the dubbing and subs you've seen is on Netflix, and I can say that there's several companies that cater to Netflix, and that's pre-recorded video, right? Pre-recorded video is a file-based format. What we are working on is real-time video streaming, for which there's very few players. And again, it's been an unsolved problem. No one has cracked the code until Syncwords, yours truly. And even if we capture a fraction of this huge TAM, we have a $100 million company, and it's within our grasp to make it happen. So we're super excited about it. Our ICPs are the media and broadcast companies that stream real-time news and sports. That's number one. The second ICP is enterprise clients that stream live events and conferences, town hall events, and so on. And again, the holy grail here is to stream real-time voice and subs inside video players. I'll keep this short. The founders have extensive background in video streaming, in AI, in captioning, closed captioning. In fact, Sam and I have known each other for several years. We met with Alex, who's a brilliant genius level, programmer, very strong in AI. And we've created this platform from, with his help and with the help of our team. We have about 25 people working on this worldwide, a tech-heavy company. Again, the clients you see, which we have from our existing clientele, we have some great brands like Harvard, like Bloomberg's, Zendesk, and 400 excellent clients. We actually started our company by focusing on the VOD segment of the market, the video on demand segment first, where we created captions and subtitles with AI for this particular market. We also focused on real-time captioning in a widget type technology, So right here, what you see is a video embedded in a page, and then the captions and subtitles are actually outside the video, inside of a widget. And this technology actually did very well during the COVID pandemic, where people were just happy with whatever they could find for captioning and subtitling. But really, 99% of our clients actually wanted to view the subs and dubs inside the video player, which is a normal way of viewing this content. So we realized this, and in 2022, we began working on our platform for in-player subs and dubs streaming. We launched this platform in December of last year. And what's great is that we used revenues from our prior platform to fund the new platform. And so you see our revenues have been declining. We did 1.74 million in revenues in 23. But again, we think the curve is gonna turn around, and we have a lot of exciting prospects in our pipeline. We've closed several new clients with our new technology. The first 2 months of the year, we've closed 200 grand in sales, and we are super excited about this. And since time is short, I'm actually, I've got my coworker here, Giovanni, and we'll show you how this technology works. Once you see it, you'll probably be even extra happy about it.
Thank you, Ash. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you today, and I want to show you how easy it is to use our technology. It's really something very special. And basically, we can take any live video, like, for example, right now, we're seeing live news. This is an actual live news that's happening right now from the BBC. And we're running this live news through our pipeline. And so basically, we just input any live video. We tell the system, hey, I want to translate this to Spanish, French, German. I could add 100+ languages here. And then basically output is something that is compatible with any standard player. And it immediately translates. So right now here you see the English. Let's go ahead and switch the language here. Let's go to French. And then let's also switch the audio to French.
Chercher autre chose, et c'est la raison principale pour laquelle je n'ai jamais changé.
I can switch now.
Je pense qu'avoir un iPhone est pratique parce que, comme j'ai un iPhone, le reste de ma famille a aussi
German.
un iPhone.
So imagine any live news or sports. Just all you got to do is just stream it right through our system.
150 billion pounds in
And you
revenues.
could like basically watch it in whatever language that you want. But of course, that's so easy for me to say. What we have is we can actually broadcast this now because it's in production. And if you'd like to, you can actually scan this QR code on your mobile phone. You don't have to install anything. It plays locally on your mobile, Android or iOS. If you scan this, you can actually watch the video live from BBC News and select the language of your choice. Either listen to it in the language you want or watch the subtitles in the language you want. Super easy, super simple. Takes 30 seconds to basically translate any live video, news or sports. And with that, I just want to say this is one of the most innovative video technologies I've ever seen out of my 20 years of in the video industry, and we're thankful for this time to share it with you.
Ash, are you gonna jump back in?
Yeah, I
Okay,
will.
good.
So as I was saying that we have some really exciting customers we are working with. Our pipeline includes clients like Stan, which is the Netflix of Australia, Univision, and a bunch of great brand names. And there's a couple of deals that we plan on closing in the next month or so, which will amount to 20 grand in new monthly recurring revenues. We're already bringing in a lot of the existing clients we have and converting them to our new platform too. And what's amazing is that we have some awesome partners we work with. AWS, right? So Amazon actually tried creating this platform on their own as a reference project. They failed, they couldn't do it. So they decided it makes sense to partner with Syncwords. So they're they've partnered with us. We've actually very closely integrated our technology into their ecosystem for video streaming. And that's really helpful because they are referring several clients to us, like clients that want to stream on them, that want captions, subtitles, and dubs, and we get that subs and dubs business. People ask me, what makes your technology so special? How are you different from the mama companies? You know, can Google create this? Microsoft create this? We get this asked a lot. And the truth is that it's not the core focus of the mama companies to actually create a platform of this type. They are more focused on their core AI technologies of ASR, text translation, text to speech, TTS, the voice. And what sets us apart is that we have a purpose-built platform that just does the creation and insertion of subs and dubs in live video, which is a very complex technology to create in the first degree. We have a patent on this technology as well, which puts us in a very good place. We put in all the R&D and effort to create this platform. And we also have an API. So it probably makes sense for the mama companies to acquire us. And right now, we are in a growth phase. We basically want to raise funding to rapidly grow our company. Here is what our ask is: 1.5 million, convertible at a 10 million val cap, a post money cap, and about 85% of our proceeds are going to be used for sales and marketing. We've already built the technology, done the R&D. So I think we've taken the risk out of the technical part of the business. It's a pure GTM play. So I think investors are going to make a lot of money investing in a company at this stage. It's a great, it's a great value at this point. Yeah. Any questions so far? I promise I'd keep it short, right?
Yes.
So
No, I think that this is a perfect place to wrap it up. I actually really want to defer questions to those who are experts in the field, because I think we got a few on the call right now. So yeah, I see one coming off mute right now. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask a little bit about the underlying AI for generating the caption. So what are you using, and
sure,
what does that look like going forward?
Absolutely. So if you can share your screen, we actually use a different AI engines to create the AI verticals for ASR. We use Speechmatics, DeepGram, the best of breed. For translate, we use DeepL, Google Translate, and so on. But what we have is our own AI, which improves the accuracy of all these engines as we use them with each other. And that really elevates the whole output of the product, the user experience of the product. So what you see, like the subs and dubs you saw, were actually extremely high quality, 94% accuracy for the the outputs. And that's a unique aspect about our company.
This is a little tangential, but Can you Gen AI the video to make the dubbing more realistic in the target language?
You mean like the lip sync in real time?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's companies that do lip sync work. There's Synthesia, there's HeyGen. There's a bunch of companies that do that. You know, as I said, these companies aren't doing it in real time. They're focused on offline. Sure, I think once we solve the first problem, we get the market share and dominate what customers really want with live video streaming, and we solve that problem. Right now, I think 0.1% of the market in live streaming has the captions, the subs and dubs. So there's a huge potential of like news, of broadcast, of sports to have this type of localization and really improve and really raise the marketing they can do with the global audiences, which are possible to be reached. So that's the first step. And in the future, yeah, we can work on the lip sync part of it. But most customers haven't asked us about the lip sync. I mean, they're pretty shocked and amazed to see that real-time dubs are possible. So that's kind of like the low-hanging fruit, that shock and awe to get them first for that. And then we can talk about the lip sync and those kinds of things.
Very cool. And that patent is pretty cool as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I think we have one more question, and then we have to actually move the questions over to chat. So if anyone else has a question, feel free to chime in. I'll ask.
I have one, Garrett. Ash, could you speak to the pricing? How are you pricing the solution, especially with respect to what the alternatives to the customers are? In other words, what are they doing now if they're using the old-fashioned one?
So if there's an event and if you hire a human to interpret at the event, it costs like $2,500 for a day worth of the time, and you have to hire 2 people, right? So if you have someone to do like English and German, you have to have 2 of them for the whole day. So it's super expensive. We are a fraction of their cost. Our range, our costs, our pricing for dubs is anywhere from $30 to $80 an hour. And our cost is $3.50 an hour. So the margins are really huge. And again, when we talk about 24/7 news channels, we're talking about like $100,000 deals for a single language. And trust me, demand is high. Everyone is going OTT, streaming real time. We've got just like 2 sales engineers in our company, 1 marketing person, and we've got a crap load of inbound leads. So we need to really hire more salespeople. We need to be at all these marketing events. I put in $500,000 of my own money in this business. I raised $500,000 safe last year. So we need the money. We want to dominate, and I think whoever invests in us is going to make a lot of money. I'm very serious about that. So.
Well, I think you're speaking the language of at least most of the folks on this call here. And so I appreciate 1, the skin in the game, and 2, the level of confidence. And if I were to put a 3 for a trifecta, I still think it's a really cool product. You didn't even.
Are you in, Garrett? Are you in?
What? Hey, we're leaning in. We're leaning.
Think about it. Think about it. Sure.
There are a couple of very smart folks on this call who I need a little bit additional technical diligence before I.
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's companies in this space, like the pre-recorded video space. There's HeyGen, there's XL8. There's a whole bunch of companies that have gotten a lot of funding for huge, valuations. And I think our valuation and for what we are about to achieve with really very few companies that are in this space, because the problem has been very hard, right? I mean, if a problem is easy, like pre-recorded video, it's a file format. You have tons of people rushing in to solve the problem, building some AI with that. So again,
I got to interject here. We got to move it over to over to the chat, because we actually have one final presentation. Before we get to that presenter, I'm going to do 2 things. One, I'm going to thank everybody for attending tonight. And I know that this was a lot of it was more crammed in tonight than we normally do. And two, I'm going to stick around, you know, even after the 7 o'clock. If the group wants to stick around and discuss the companies, great. If you just want to email me your feedback as to what you liked and anyone you want to connect with, I understand that beyond 2 hours, that's asking a lot from an audience. So I'll stick around, but no pressure to stick around for anyone who wants to talk about the companies. And then the last thing is I'm going to give just a little shout out here real quick to my own fund and all of those many of you who are participating in it. You know, we've accomplished a lot here recently, especially with the close of this recent UNES deal and the fact that we've essentially taken board control, as well as are now going to be the largest owner within UNES. If anyone is interested, we're really kind of, it's closing time is playing on Some Ventures Fund 1. We have a few $100 grand left, but I really, you know, I'm very adamant that I want to hit our 10 million target. So please reach out to me, let me know. It's one of the rare opportunities where you can actually see the portfolio that you're getting, or at least 80% of the portfolio, given about 80% of the capital is already deployed. And so if you are curious and would like to learn more about Some Ventures or have anyone who's interested in learning more, it's Garrett@some.vc, and I'll drop my contact info in the chat for all of you as well. But we're going to be moving on to Fund 2 here pretty darn quick, and really excited for the growth and the direction we're going. And thank you to all of you for being a part of it. So with that, we're going to move on to Connected Signals, and I won't filibuster here, but this is a company that's has gotten new life under the new CEO. And Ravi, I'm gonna shut up because you know what, we only have 15 minutes. So why don't you take it away and talk about the future of reducing traffic congestion and traffic signals, please.
Hey, thank you, Garrett. Thank you very much for setting this up. I truly appreciate it. I also owe a big thank you to Kevin Hersberg for the introduction and his interest in doing this one. You guys should be able to see my screen, correct? As I scroll the slides. Yes, no?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So I'm Ravi Kandagunta. I'm the CEO and owner of Connected Signals. For the purpose of this presentation, just to make sure Connected Signals is a wholly owned technology company under Zero Infrastructure Mobility Solutions. But that comes later. I'll talk a lot more about it. Let's just go to my background. Before I tell you about Connected Signals, I'll tell you about my passion for automotive industry. I am a 25-year veteran in the automotive industry, and that's not enough time to know this industry. I love it. I have a huge passion for it, and I'm excited about the developments that are coming across in the next few years, in the next few decades. I spent in my 25 years, I've spent about 15 at Ford and 10 at Hyundai, and between all those little pictures on that slide tell you most of the stuff that I have been directly or indirectly involved in. What I'm really proud about is that over this time, I have developed a nose to identify what is around and use my engineering and strategic capabilities, bringing cross-functional teams together, people together I have known to make new products come to market. And so that's the beginning of my journey. Just to tell you the end part of this one, we are raising $750K on a 10 million stock opportunity, but I'll come to that and why this is an awesome opportunity in just a little bit. Let's talk about a transforming world in this automotive industry, right? This is an industry in the midst of a revolution, I think, and consumers want this experience of an Apple connected phone in their mobility experience, personalized, environmentally clean, connected technologies with seamless transit that takes them from place A to place B. That concept car is from one of the auto shows recently, and that is, if you see, it's an autonomous car, it's computerized, it's two people sitting lounge style in a car, and the car going from one place to the other seamlessly. This beautiful thing allowing them to give freedom, right? And car makers are in the midst of promoting this idea of connected
on-demand smart mobility, right? And Waymo, by the way, has just introduced their their Waymo car in Los Angeles. If you ever have a chance, experience it, take a free taxi ride in Los Angeles. A lot of money, a lot of technology going into this. But you know what? Realistically, contrast that with what you're experiencing in real world. Aging infrastructure, costly drives, crowded streets and highways, and completely out of control intersections. Old roads, disconnected infrastructure. And 2022 saw, by the way, the highest number of fatalities on US streets so far. 60% of the intersections of highways are still using analog controllers. And there is more than $200 billion that's going into updating this infrastructure. There are cameras, in-loop detectors. There's more technology at an intersection that you can ever imagine to identify what's at the car, what's at an intersection. But none of them talk to each other, right? And that's the whole point. When that happens, this is what happens. On the right-hand side, there's a Cruise that did not know what it was doing. It's a General Motors, fully autonomous autonomous car lead in their pipeline, one of the leading technologies in General Motors' portfolio. What does it do in San Francisco? It's approaching a light, does not know how to behave when it's approaching a fire truck, right? Automotive and infrastructure, these are huge industries, completely out of sync with each other. They do not talk to each other. Each of them has cameras, radar, cellular equipment, more equipment than you can ever imagine. $150,000 per intersection goes into technology, and about $15,000 goes into the car side. Neither of them talk. Neither of them understand what the other one is doing, and they're all growing in their own pace. What we see with my automotive background and a little bit of experience in this space is a tipping point. This disconnect will not work. We need it to work, and we can't wait till 2040 to do it to work. So we thought about how to change the paradigm, and we asked ourselves, how can we bridge this gap? We like the idea of smart mobility, which is clean, free to travel, making travel fun again, right? But we have this infrastructure that takes time, money, and both of them are targeting 2040 or 2050 for a greener planet. I think we can change that. So we asked the question, how can we accelerate this shift to smart mobility, if you may, with existing infrastructure? We have more technology in our hands. We have more technology in our capabilities. Why not do that? So that became our mission around pre-COVID timeframe, and I started hunting for some technologies. We went scouting in events like this, and one of the companies that we came across is Connected Signals. It was a 10-year-old it was an 8-year-old company. We were an early investor in it. A lot of these people on this platform, Pasadena Angels, really helped. We were part of that early investor round. Right? Connected Signals had 10 patents. It grew very well between 2012 and 2019. They were formed with this hypothesis, with this need of connecting infrastructure to vehicles without any new infrastructure, right? And they were pioneers in the space, very well recognized, had a very successful launch in CES in 2019. But they did hit a road bump, and I kind of was at the right place at the right time, found some funds myself, and bought all their assets just as they shut down, right? And they had validated technologies. This is the guys we invested in actually did something. They had this beautiful product which launched in 2019 with a partnership with BMW. Argonne National Labs called this technology. It said that this technology demonstrated positive safety impact from providing traffic signal information to drivers. Argonne National Labs, come on, can't be wrong, right? But hey, so not bad technology, loved it, swooped in, purchased it completely, and set myself a goal. So when I acquired it, wanted to make sure I could actually do a turnaround. I have this background in enabling new technologies in the automotive industry. How can we turn this around in 5 years, actually bring it back and make it a viable, self-sustaining company ready for a sale, right? So what are we doing? Connected Signals is now live. Actually, if anybody are in Arcadia, Kevin Hersberg was very kind to make time. We are live in the city of Arcadia generating revenue. We are there helping cities engineers. The first thing that we do, help city engineer create a proprietary cloud. This was not seen as a value in the previous company. We have to go ground up. So we are seeing this as our core value, create the securitized end-to-end securitized traffic signal network that is system agnostic, right? And hardware agnostic. Once you have that in the cloud, and COVID has taught us, COVID has enabled us to adapt these technologies, this connect technology becomes much more viable in modern times. Once we do that, we then work with the traffic engineer to develop business-friendly applications, if you may. Transit signal priority. How do you make sure a transit bus does not have to stop at a traffic signal? 5 to 10% of their emissions is at traffic signals. How do you stop that? How do you make sure a firefighter can go from one end of the city to the other without having to weave through traffic? We have the technology, we have the connectivity. So we are able to do that. We have shown it. I would love to show that to you. Hopefully sometime during this presentation or after this presentation, Kevin can step in and tell us what we did. What we are really excited about is freight and how we can impact freight, how we can impact Waze maps, and how we can tell Uber taxis not to go through subdivisions and mess up your little subdivisions, but stay on roads that we will give them green lights. And that is where the revenue comes in. What you're missing is what we are working on. This was the core of the company. This was valued very, very high, ready for a sale, Enlighten. This is our core. We own it. It's a machine learning, deep machine learning with amazing platform that I want to wait for that till July. It's already in our pipeline, but we want to make sure we have the fundamentals right. Between connect, and we call it connect, collaborate, and coach. Between the traffic signal network and the signal priority services, we are disrupting at least a $25 billion industry, which is I think ready for disruption. So intersection management today, I'll run through this. You have traffic lights. There is a building called a traffic management center. Each of these traffic lights are discrete intersection management tools. And this is what happens. It sees a fire truck. It tries to figure out each of them. Each of them uses a camera to service each of these guys, and there is no back and forth. So you start with one signal, you determine which one it's coming, go to the next signal, and it's a painful process, trust me. You guys have driven, you don't have, you've driven in intersections. You spend 20% of your time on intersections, on streets, at traffic lights, at red lights. We at Traffic Connected Signals have changed that. We put our proprietary dongle, a proprietary technology on the traffic signal network in the traffic management center, nothing at intersections, create a proprietary securitized cloud. And now we are able to actually use our technology to identify different types of users and provide them different priority at the right time, at the right place. I told you already, this is live in the city of Arcadia. We're on 24 buses on 3 routes, 20 fire trucks, and pedestrians. And if you have a bicycle in Arcadia, please let me know. We are looking for riders who can get priority in the city of Arcadia. They have beautiful parks. They have a beautiful horse racing track. You can go through and get priority while you're doing this. This is a financial place, so I'm looking for $750,000. Beyond the purchase price, I have personally invested over $1.3 million into this. All my savings, all my stuff is in this company. I believe in this. We are working on bringing services back and marketing the company. We are extremely successful in Arcadia. We are one of the only companies authorized in the state of Florida. We have not yet set up office, but we have already gotten the approval in Florida. We are looking forward to setting up, we are looking forward to a growth plan which involves growing in Florida. We want to grow and become, and our short-term goal for this particular year is $1 million by 2024 in revenue. Your $750,000 is going to go a long way in making sure our team is set, and more importantly, we can promote and place this in the right place, because it's an industry that is in the midst of an M&A burst. There have been more M&A deals in this space than in any other ITS related space. And I'll talk to you about it over the next few slides. So I think this is ready for transformation. This is ready for growth. I think this is one of those companies that is more of a rebuild and a grow company and divest rather than just an early stage. There's a lot of action taking place, as I said. The infrastructure bill, we've already heard about it. There's infrastructure bill V2 coming up, apparently with a few $100 billion soon. Mobileye, one of the companies in this space, was valued at $17 billion. That they only do vision recognitions, primarily based on cars, a little bit on traffic, but again, discrete intersection based. $17 billion. Come on, give me a break. McCain was acquired by Swarco. McCain is one of the developers of huge controllers. They have about 30 or 40% of the market. With Swarco, they are making a little bit more controllers that have fiber that go to the traffic signal network. US government grant is giving billions of dollars. $1 billion goes to schools for electrifying their school buses. We can help school bus priority. You don't have to spend those dollars. We have shown that we can take existing powertrains and offer very close to electric vehicle emissions performances just by minimizing the number of stops at traffic lights. And school buses is a perfect example for that. Tokes Amashakun, the Secretary of Transportation, said freight and transit signal prioritization
It's
stuff
7 o'clock.
that we prioritize, that we specialize in, is bound for a rebound and is about to grow, right?
I think we need
next,
to get to the ask, please.
sorry?
Well, we need to get to the ask slide because we're
the ask side was $70 million. $70 million, I wish. $750,000 for a 10 million valuation. We are going to use that for this. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry for
No, that's okay. Garrett, I appreciate it.
cutting off there, but that was
No, that's okay. It's 7 o'clock.
we're at time. What I'd ask is that, you know what, we're right at time. We're on the nose right now. But why don't we get one question in, and then we'll please share your contact info as well. And I'm sorry pushing you at the end, but this is a late edition, so hopefully you can understand.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you for the platform. I truly appreciate it.
Any questions from the group? Oh, we got a tired group.
I got a quick question. So does this use cameras like on the lights or no?
Nope, we don't need cameras. We don't need in-loop detectors. We do not need any hardware at the lights. We have all the lights on our traffic signal cloud through the traffic management center. So no hardware, saving the city about $150,000 per year.
So how are you seeing the cars? And
we do not need to see the car. So we have a very good question. Thank you. We have an app in the car itself. We are connected. We have the GPS in the car or a transit bus through their cell phone or an inbuilt app in the car, right? So we are connected in real time with that car with its destination and speed. And once we know that, and we know which traffic signal, what its destination is, we know which traffic signal and what map they're doing in real time. The lag is very, very little. So we do not need any, so far away. And I would have shown you a video. If you're interested, email me and I'd love to show it to you. In a transit bus, we are able to show, we are able to monitor the transit bus and tell all the lights ahead of it, what time it's expected there, what its ATA is, and monitor it. I just wanted to make sure I let the group know in that M&A activity, one of our competitors just got acquired for $200